Fantastic Four: First Steps. I wasn't expecting to like this movie. I didn't watch a trailer for it, but I saw a lot of the news articles about it. News articles that made me very worried about the film. Things from people who actually worked on the film were saying. People who were acted in the film were saying. And that just solidified in my mind that I should not pay attention to any of that news drama. I should not pay attention to any of that stuff. Because who knows, maybe when the film finally comes out, none of the things they're saying end up being in the movie. Johnny is still womanizing, he's still joke-tastical, sarcastic, and snarky, but he's also fiercely intelligent. He's not intelligent as Reed, but he's smart. There's a reason why he went into space with his sister. He's very intelligent, and the film actually shows how competent he is, as well as how much of a hothead he can be. Thing has some heart to him, but the film doesn't really spend too much time with him. I think the original two films with the other guy, I forget the actor's name, but the other one for the first two films, not the 90s one, but the one in the early 2000s, those two films, that guy who played the Thing, those had a better story for the Thing. Sue Storm was great. Sue Storm was fine. Sue Storm didn't have too much to do in the original two films, but in this one she has a stronger dynamic with Reed, and I liked that a lot. And Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, I kind of owe him a little bit of an apology, because I have been suffering from Pedro Pascal syndrome of just way too much Pedro Pascal in everything. They just keep casting him like, where are the other actors? Why aren't you putting other actors in here? I would have preferred John Krasinski as Reed Richards here. You actually showed him as Reed Richards in the Doctor Strange 2. I don't know why they did that, and then cast this guy instead. So I was coming in with no expectations with Reed, no expectations at all, and then I ended up seeing that Pedro Pascal delivered a fine performance as Reed Richards. He was fine. I liked it a lot. Another thing I really liked was the sets, the background, the atmosphere, the aesthetic of the town, the city. Is it New York? The aesthetic here is very much classic retro, like 50s visions of the future, like the Fallout aesthetic with all the robotics and stuff in the 50s and how that society looked like that. That very much Jetsons inspired. There's the Fantastic car here, and that's the first time we've seen it, I think. I haven't seen Fant 4 Stick, so I don't know if the Fantastic car is in that one or not, but it is in this one, and we have this guy here. I love to see him. It's a very nice looking film. It's a very nice story. It's a very well-crafted story. It's a lot happening. It's shorter than what you would normally expect a movie like this to be. This movie is, let's see how long it is. Can I find minutes? 115 minutes. I may have added maybe 10 minutes to the runtime. I would have personally added 10 minutes to the runtime, and I would have given most of that runtime to the Silver Surfer and expand with her character and her dynamic with Johnny. I would have given a couple more scenes with that to make things make a little bit more sense, because she has a lot of potential. She has a lot of heart. She has a lot of sympathy. The scenes that we have with her are very nice to see, and they really flesh out her character in ways that make you want to say, I want to see more of this character. I wanted to know more of her motivations and why she made the decision that she did at the very end of the film. What led her to that? It couldn't have just been that one scene that Johnny did with the TV screens and the voice recordings. I want to see more of that. I want to see more dynamics there. Maybe a dynamic where they are actually getting a little bit close, so that when the Silver Surfer decides to sacrifice herself instead of Johnny sacrificing himself, it feels like it has more impact. I really liked the performance of Julia Garner as a Silver Surfer. I know she's from the comics, and I know she hasn't been around in the comics for very, very long, but it's not in your face. It's just a decision often made to have Johnny have a dynamic with a female character, and the female villain, and that was a great idea, honestly, to have Johnny have that dynamic. the Franklin Richards stories coming out. Honestly, everything about this film feels like it's a far better movie than Rise of the Silver Surfer ever was. Rise of the Silver Surfer had the guy who played Morpheus as the Silver Surfer, if I remember correctly. That guy was the original Silver Surfer, if I remember correctly, and he's fine. But Galactus is absolutely terrible. This film does Galactus justice. This film does Galactus right. This film has an excellent Galactus. If you've played Marvel video games where there's a Galactus level, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance and all that stuff, you see Galactus in his size. He is taller than some of the tallest skyscrapers. He's just walking around. He might feel slow, but his movements are very powerful. This is a very powerful and giant dude. It's like a kaiju, man. It's like dealing with a kaiju on some of those levels in Ultimate Alliance and all that stuff. And they give you that energy with this Galactus in this movie. And it is perfect. Just too sweet, you know? It is very good. I dare say it's fantastic. Fantastic, eh? It's very fantastic, yeah. But I would say, give this one a look. Because if you've been a little bit, what's the word, fatigued with the MCU of late, which I don't blame you, I am very fatigued, you can watch this one without worrying about homework. And that's the thing that I've been making rants about this in my previous videos in the past few months about Thunderbolts and Brave New World and the previous ones after that and before that. There's even some crap in Guardians 3, which I really liked. There's some stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine. I loved that movie, both of those movies, but they too have homework of things that didn't release physically, that didn't release in theaters, that you have to go somewhere else to figure it out. And that place is called Disney+. For example, the crap that you need to know with Guardians 3, outside of just watching Guardians 1 and 2 and Infinity World and all that stuff, is that you need to watch the Christmas special. And the Christmas special did not release with Guardians 3, which I honestly believe it should have. I personally, genuinely believe it should have released with Guardians 3. But the Christmas special, it happened, it's canon, it happens in between Guardians 2 and 3, so if you just watch Guardians 3, you're going to need some homework. You're going to need to watch the Guardians 3 Christmas special. And that didn't come with a copy, so that didn't go into theaters, so only a fraction of the audience. So there's some fatigue there. What other fatigue, like Deadpool and Wolverine, the one I also really liked, has some fatigue in there, has some homework in there. You have to watch the Loki, one of the Loki seasons, to understand this Time Squad group. They kind of explain themselves, but not to a great degree. So you're going to have to watch the Time Squad Loki season, which is trapped on Disney+. I believe the first season now has a physical set release, limited quantity, so you can go track that down if you like. I think that should have been a movie, if you ask me. In fact, I think most all of these TV shows were just movies that were repurposed as TV shows, so that they give it a little bit of a lower budget and give people a reason to subscribe to Disney+. It's their decision. It's their company. They have the right to do that, and I have the right to say I don't like that. I don't like homework in my movies. When you release something in theaters and you have homework where you have to go watch something on your streaming service to figure out what's going on in the movie, you're going to cause a lot of fatigue with your viewers. People are going to be very tired when they put the movie in. They go, alright, I gotta watch like 3 other TV shows to figure out what's happening in this one. It's not just the other movies than the MCU theatrical releases, which I have seen. No, I have to watch about 3 other TV shows, maybe 4 other TV shows. And they just get tired. They get tired. They stop coming to the theaters because they expect to see more of that crap. And that's why you're losing a lot of money. You gotta stop doing that. This is a perfect idea. It's a movie that sits by itself. You don't need to watch anything else. You don't need any other homework to understand this movie. You can just watch it by itself and understand everything that happens in it. You don't need to watch any TV shows. You don't need to watch any previous movies. It's just a film by itself, which I love, and I need more of things like this. No more homework. No more TV show homework, okay? You're on the right track here. You just need to stay on track.